What I want to do tonight is to just basically practice knife safety. This is the first time this class has been in here to pick up a knife at all, and what I need to do is to teach you how to handle a knife safely, how to not cut yourself, all right? And you know, you've seen chefs on the TV where they're doing this real quick, all right? Speed is not important, all right? You'll get speed with time, all right? It's all in the motion, and you need to start out with the same motion, and then you'll get used to it. Speed will come, all right? I have a zucchini, and I'm going to slice it in half, and I have half zucchinis set in the table in front of you. This is an incredibly sharp knife, and you know, we need to respect it as such. As I said, you know, always set it behind your board with the blade facing away from you, all that kind of stuff. But before we get to the sharp knife, I just need to explain how you hold your hands, how you hold the knife, etc., etc. So I'm going to start with this incredibly sharp knife, which is what you're going to start with, this incredibly sharp knife. And I would need who in here is left-handed? I guess I need to ask that. Whatever I say, do the opposite, okay? My left hand, I want to take and hold my index finger basically straight up and down on the product. I want to bend the tip of my index finger slightly back. What's going to happen is my knife blade is going to be touching the knuckle of that index finger constantly, okay? The other fingers are on the hand just to help hold the product and to move along as we go, all right? Left hand, index finger up, tip slightly bent back, and the whole hand is rotated a little bit so that the knuckle is not against the knife, the side of the knuckle is against the knife. As far as the knife itself, it's a firm grip on the handle. You can hold the knife however you're comfortable with. What I don't allow is I don't allow this, okay? The finger on top of the knife, I think, is not as safe. I don't think you have as good of a grip on your knife. Clutch up on the knife, and I have a thumb on one side and I have the rest of the fingers wrapped around the knife. I have a good firm grip on it so that it's not going to want to wobble, all right? And I take that index finger in the proper position, and I'm going to take that knife and I'm just going to do motion where it's going up and down, all right? There's two different styles of slicing with a chef's knife. The first one is the rocking motion. We're going to save that for later. All you're doing right now is the straight up and down motion. Notice as I did that, I was looking at all of you, all right? I know that if I handle my knife correctly, there's no way I'm going to cut myself. I'd have to do something really stupid to cut myself. As long as you handle it this way all the time, you're okay, all right? I didn't wipe off the blade in between each one. You know, you're slicing zucchini and that piece gets stuck to it. Don't worry about it. The next piece is going to knock it off, all right? Behind my board, I'm going to set this off to the side, and you're taking, for right now, your half zucchini, and I want you to use this knife, imagining that it is the sharpest thing on the face of the earth, firm grip on it, hand in position, and all I want you to do is just this up and down motion and get little marks on top of your zucchini the way that I am here, okay? I'm not cutting it, I'm just getting the marks. This is a good way to start, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around behind you and I'm just going to make sure that you are handling your knife correctly and that you're touching the right part of your knuckle, okay? Several rules. If at any point I say to stop, because I don't know all of your names, this is my first time with this class. If I say to stop, it applies to everybody in the room, okay? And you can only continue when I tell you you can continue. If I tell you to stop and you're doing this, you stop exactly where you are. You don't move a muscle. You don't move the knife, you don't move your finger, you don't do anything. Because if you were doing something wrong, I need to be able to show you what it was. And if you move, I can no longer show you, okay? So go ahead to your boards, and that's what I want you to do. Just practice from one end to the other. When you get to the far end, start again. When you get to the next end again, start again. Go ahead and do that. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay? Stop for just a second. Your fingertip is sticking out, all right? Fingertip has to be slightly bent back. Several things that I forgot to say. I want you to keep doing this. Just listen to me. Two common things that you're going to cut is your knuckle. If your knuckle is not off to the side, like I said, that's when you're going to cut your knuckle. Next most common thing is your fingertip. If you don't have your fingertip bent back, guess what? You're going to cut it. Last but not least, don't forget you got a thumb on your hand. Make sure your thumb is out of the way. Okay, now go ahead with the motion. Stop. You're touching, put your finger up. You're touching here, your knife needs to touch here. So rotate your hand a little bit, and that's where you need to touch. Watch this finger, watch your thumb. Okay, rotate your hand a little bit, other way. There you go, that's where you need to touch, right there. Okay, that's where you need to feel it. You got the right position. Slow down, all right? I know we're only imagining this is the sharpest knife in the world, but in a minute you're gonna have a sharp knife, all right? Start at the beginning. Okay, stop. You're wanting to use your knife right here. You want to move your hand so that you feel it right there. Okay, go back to the beginning, please. There you go. Stop. And move this knife. You're wanting to feel here. Rotate your hand a little bit so you feel it where my fingernail is. Up the other way. There you go. So you feel it right in there. Okay. Okay, stand your hand up proud.
The only thing I'm worried about with that is that my thumb seems to go forward when I raise my hand, and that's why I was kind of leaning it that way, because I'm noticing a tendency for these fingers to come too forward. I guess that's just getting used to it.
Okay, that's good. Come on over to this side for just a moment, please. Very good. Chef's knives are all in the right place. Those really sharp knives that we're using. All right, where'd she go? She had a comment about how her hand was uncomfortable holding that. And it's the way you sliced it home all along, you get that lazy hand and your fingers are sticking out, all right? You can't have the lazy hand. You gotta get them standing up. Her comment was she felt that this finger was in the way and she felt that her thumb was in the way, which is a very good comment, all right? Your job is to make sure that it's not, very simply. Fingertip straight up and down, tip slightly bent back. I have the whole hand curved and I have to keep these fingers back here. I just have to get them back there. The second that you do this and you get lazy hand, that's when you're gonna get cut. Okay, you can't go down, you gotta have it up. It's uncomfortable. And we're only gonna do this for an hour, and by the end of the hour, I guarantee you, you're gonna be sore here from holding your hand in this position. Then you're gonna do that for the next 2 years while you're here and everything, and every time you're at home. I'm so addicted to that style when I'm using a hand saw to cut a piece of wood. Guess what? My hand's in this position and that saw blade is up against my finger and I'm cutting it like this. Because if I'm holding it like this, I know where that knife is. If I'm cutting with my extremely sharp knife and I leave that finger, there's no way that I'm lowering that blade back down to the product because I don't know where the blade is in relation to my finger. Okay, I have to feel it on that finger all the time, and I have to keep these other fingers back out of the way. Okay, go ahead back to your board, do the same thing. Barb, I'll be back over there with you again in just a second. Stop. Move this. You moved your hand. Put it back. Okay, you're wanting to slice with your knife touching right here.
Yeah.
You actually need to touch it right about there. So you want to rotate your hand a little bit. Tip slightly bent back and you want to feel it right there. Okay. Okay, you're doing fine. You're feeling it in the right place. Make sure your knife is straight up and down, that it doesn't angle in. Okay. Slow down. Slow and steady wins the race. Stop for a second. Don't move. You're feeling the knife up here, and you need to feel the knife right here on the side of that knuckle. okay? Fingertips slightly bent back and get your finger up on top of the product. There you go. There you go. Okay, good. Okay, slow down. And you're moving your whole hand at once, and that's kind of easy to do right now, all right? What you want to do is your back fingers are going to do a little bit of walking, okay? They don't necessarily always move at the same speed. And this, stand it up a little bit taller. There you go. Move your knife for just a second. You're feeling right here, and you need to feel just off to the side of the knuckle right there, okay? Okay. That's pretty good, Barb. I actually remembered your name.
Yeah. Next question I have.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tend to take your knife and go this way so that it's
Straight up and down. Straight up and down is ideal. Okay. Now come back to the beginning where I can see what you're doing a little bit better.
The minute I raised it, it brought these fingers back more. Getting that finger down forward.
Go ahead and start slicing and stop. Okay, I'm going to move your knife, but keep your hand in position. Whoop.
Oops. This one?
Ow, that's so sharp, I just cut myself. All right, you're kind of leaning like this. Make that finger stand straight up and
Are
down.
we talking here?
Uh-huh. There you go. There you go. That's the way it
Like
needs to be.
that?
Bend the tip back, and now you are in this position. Take your hand and just turn it a little bit. There you go, so that you feel the knife right there, where my fingernail is against your skin. That's where you want to feel the knife.
Maybe that finger was up on the top here rather than a little down more.
Well, you want it. You don't want it on the side. I mean, you need
Okay.
it where it's on the product. Okay. Now remember, you got a thumb and you got this finger. You got to keep them out of the way, but that's where you need to feel it.
Okay.
You have a sharp knife in your hand. Pay 100% attention to that knife. I don't remember names. Laura, slow down. Slow down. Okay, you've kind of gotten back to the front of the knuckle again. Remember, off to the side of the knuckle. There you go. Just keep on going back and forth from the beginning of the zucchini all the way to the end. It's the only way I can see what you're doing. You almost lost a finger there, right? Much better. Very good. Okay, you're taking some gigantic leaps here, all right? What you want to do is it's a slow process, all right? You're just moving slowly. And, you know, you're doing walking with these back fingers, that's okay. Some people are just kind of taking it and sliding it across. Well, you can't always slide it, okay? And you can't always walk, all right? If you're walking, you tend to lose sight of that front finger. Okay, you're on the right part of the knuckle. Okay, I think I'm over on this side this time. I don't remember. Come on over. Okay, I was asked several questions or several things kind of came up as we were doing that. One would be, is the knife straight up and down, or is the knife slightly angled out, or is the knife slightly angled in? All right. Well, first of all, never angled in. All right. That one's pretty obvious. I'm not going to aim it towards my fingers. Ideally, it's straight up and down. Ideally, it's straight up and down. But if you are doing something, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a product. There's something called a bias cut that we haven't gotten to yet, but a bias cut, there's two ways of doing it. One would be slicing this way, and the other one would be slicing this way. So the knife is angled on the product, okay? So there are times where maybe I'm going to cut away from my fingers, but generally straight up and down. I need to feel that cold stainless steel of the knife against my fingers all the time, all right? The second you don't feel that, you have a problem. Then some of you are practicing with this and you are taking your hand and just kind of sliding it along. If you're cutting a stick of butter, that's easy to do. But if you're cutting a carrot, that's not necessarily as easy to do. So you sometimes have to walk your fingers a little bit, all right? You were walking your fingers completely, and that's pretty uncomfortable. You want to kind of reach that happy medium, all right? For uniformity, all I'm doing is making sure that if my knife moves at the same rate of speed and my hand moves at the same rate of speed, guess what? Every slice is exactly the same, okay? So that's why I need to feel it against my finger. That's why I need to move at the same rate of speed, and you're just trying to get comfortable with this, okay? I know we've used incredibly sharp knives now. Now I need you to switch to this, okay? There is no talking in the room other than me, just so you know now, all right? You have a sharp knife. Some people can't talk without doing this. It's just not gonna happen, all right? Now I want you to use the sharp knife. I still do not want you to cut the zucchini, okay? All I want to see is you just becoming familiar with that feel of that knife against your hand. If you try moving fast, you're going to accidentally cut the zucchini and I'm going to be mad. Don't cut the zucchini, all right? Nice and slow, nice and slow. And all we're doing is this up and down motion and making sure, if I set it up where you can see, I'm feeling it on the side of that knuckle. If I start, I'm feeling it on the side of this knuckle. If I start to feel it on the side of this knuckle, I got a problem. I'm going to come down and I'm going to lose this knuckle, right? Now you have a sharp knife. Watch your finger, watch your thumb, and watch the middle finger. Pay attention to all things, okay? Go ahead and do it. And same thing, I'm just going to come up to you one at a time. Now if I say stop, it's a little bit more urgent, all right? Get that up and down motion in there too. And are you feeling it on your first knuckle or are you feeling it on the top knuckle? Okay, as long as you're only feeling it on the one. Same with you, you're only feeling it on that bottom knuckle. Good. 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 Okay, just make sure that you are only feeling it on the side of this knuckle. And what you're doing is you're cutting and then you move your finger and then you move your knife and then you cut and then you move your finger and you move your knife. That's not what you want to do. Okay. What you want to do is cut, bring it up to your finger and move at the same time. Oh. So you feel it on that finger all the time. The second you don't feel the cold stainless steel of that knife on your finger, then you have an issue. Hey, we're doing a good job of peeling zucchini, if nothing else. We're cutting off peeling one little bitty piece at a time. Okay, now you're using a little bit of that rocking motion because your tip is on there. For right now, try to do it where your tip is up. We'll get to that, okay? Are you feeling it only on your bottom knuckle, lower knuckle? Stop. Are you feeling it on your lower knuckle or are you feeling it up here?
My fingers are so short that it really doesn't feel anywhere except the whole finger.
Okay, make sure, you know, I'd like you to feel it here, all right? But if you're gonna feel it, don't feel it up here,
Okay.
all right? Yeah, you do have short fingers. By the way, sanitation, you're allowed to wear one ring in the lab and that's your wedding ring. That's it. Stop. Your knife is aiming in. Straight up and down. There you go. Make sure you feel it on that bottom knuckle. You feeling it on the bottom knuckle or are you feeling it on the side of your fingernail?
On my bottom.
Hmm?
Feel on my bottom knuckle.
Okay. Slow down. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, what I need you to do is to start at the beginning of the zucchini and, you know, start at one end, whatever you want to call it. We're starting at one end of the zucchini. I need super, super thin slices. Literally, I've put it on the box over there and I need to be able to read the box through your slice, okay? So super thin slices. If you do it super thin, you can get 150 slices out of this one piece of zucchini, and therefore you get more practice. Nice and thin. Slow and steady wins the race. It should take you 5 minutes to cut from one end of the zucchini to the other, okay? Everybody understand what I'm looking for? Nice and slow. Yes, ma'am?
You're still performing by coming down and holding it to a knuckle, but not rocking it.
You're not,
Correct?
at this point, I don't want you to take the knife and do this motion. At this point, I want the knife straight up and down, okay? Yeah? Did that answer your question? Okay.
Oh, my knuckle.
Pardon me?
I keep rubbing up here. You can see where it's going to. Like I can't stay down here.
Okay.
So it's
You
okay.
do have short fingers.
I know.
That's fine. This is what I would prefer.
Okay.
I'll watch you as you're cutting. If you're coming up here a little bit, that's fine. Just make sure you're not
Yeah, it's
on
not
this
going there,
knuckle.
It just goes to there.
Okay, I'll watch you as you're cutting. Slow, slow, slow. And if I tell you to stop, you stop. Go ahead and start slicing. Nice and thin. Make sure you're going all the way from the top to the bottom. I don't know your name, sir. Matt. Thinner, thinner, thinner. Literally, I want to be able to read through your slice. You're angling that knife in again, straight up and down. Okay, you're having a tendency to let it move this way a little bit. Make sure it's straight up and down. Go thinner. There you go, we're getting it. Bear in mind, you got a thumb. And the bad finger, I don't know what you call that finger. It's not the index, but bear in mind you have those fingers. Who's my left-hander? Right here? Okay. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Okay, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Watch that thumb. Slow down a little bit, okay? Now, what you're doing is you're slicing, you're bringing that knife away, and you're bringing it back up to your hands. Your knife is angled in a little bit. Make sure it's straight up and down, and slice and come straight back up. So that you feel that knife on your skin all the time. You're doing it again. You're coming this way. Keep slicing. Okay, you feel that knife up against your finger now? That's what you need 100% of the time. Stop. Don't move a muscle. Are you on your bottom knuckle? Okay. Now, I said don't move a muscle. Did you by chance take that knife and straighten it back up, or was it straight like this? Okay, just bear in mind, keep it straight up and down. Whoa. Okay, you're away from your finger. That knife should be against your finger. Everybody else can go. Go ahead, slice nice and thin. Super thin. You're getting lazy hands. Stand that finger straight up and down. There you go. Make sure you're feeling that knife up against the side of your knuckle. All right, stop. What you're doing is you're cutting, you're bringing that knife back up this way and then back to your finger. You cut, bring it up, back up against your finger. That's not what you want to do. Put your hand in position. I'm just going to reach some fingers in there with you, okay? Be proud of that. Make the hand stand up. Make sure you're on the side of the knuckle, not the front of the knuckle. Okay, go ahead and cut a slice. Straight back up. And move the knife and the finger together. Okay. I know I'm in your way, and we took a big jump there, all right? But it's not bringing it up this way and up against your finger. That's not. You have to feel it. That has to be up against this knife all the time, okay? Nice and slow and thinner. Thinner slices. Thinner, 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 thinner. Super thin. Let me see, where should we be looking? That's an excellent question. You need to have one eye on each finger. You need to have one eye on the knife, and you need to have one eye on the zucchini.
Which side should I be looking to see where my thin
Which side is your finger on?
This side.
That's the biggest concern right now.
That's what I
Okay, is on your finger
I'm
side.
working on this side.
All right.
Okay.
Biggest concern is on your finger side right now. All right, it looks like we're keeping it up against our finger now. That's good. Watch your thumb. Take 3 or 4 slices and see if you can read the box through them. Whoa, careful about reaching across the table when you got everybody with knives. It's okay to reach across, but be careful not to push the table.
You want us all to do that right now? Read through it.
Okay, I need everybody to stop. There's a box in the center of the table. You got more people on this table, so there's another box. Take a slice of zucchini, 2, 3, 4, see if you can read the box through the slice. Your goal was to have every slice thin enough that you could read the box. Not just the select ones, but every one. And it all boils down to moving that finger at the same speed all the time and moving that knife at the same speed all the time. Who walked in here and said we're nervous? I don't remember. Was that you? Okay, you're on stage. I need you to clean off your cutting board. Here, you can put the goodies into a Lexan just so that we do this the proper way. Watch the knife blade there. Wipe off your cutting board, and we're going to take another zucchini, get it into position. I need everyone over here, please, on this table. I'm coming right back. By the way, I didn't point this out because I failed to realize this is your first time over here and I haven't taught you all the safety things. Did you realize underneath your cutting board that there's a damp towel to hold the cutting board in place? Extremely important. Okay, you're on stage. I want you to do exactly what you just did. Try to keep them thin and go ahead and start slicing. You have something wrong right away. What's wrong?
Finger.
There you go. Okay, make sure you're cutting all the way through from top to bottom. I want you to keep cutting. Make sure you're all the way through from top to bottom. If I tell you to stop, you might want to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Do you feel that your thumb is safe?
Yeah.
Do you feel that your middle finger is safe?
Yes.
Is that knife up against your knuckle?
Yes.
Do you feel that every slice is the same thickness?
Yes.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Keep slicing. All right. Now, I told you all, I think it's about 45 minutes ago, that you're going to be slicing blindfolded by the end of the hour. All right. If you're doing this correctly, you're thinking about that thumb. You're thinking about that middle finger. And you know, I know with your eyes closed, you know where your fingers are, right? You just got to make sure that you mentally keep an eye. Stop for a minute. Somebody asked me, where should my eyes be, right? Your eyes need to be in 7 places at a time here. It's physically impossible to have your eyes in all those places. You need to watch that thumb. You need to watch that middle finger. Some of you need to watch the other 2 fingers too, but keep an eye on those fingers. That index finger, you need to make sure it's straight up and down with that tip slightly bent back and that it's slightly rotated so you're hitting the side of the knuckle. That's already 3 things you're watching. Plus I want every slice the same size, plus you're watching how you're holding that blade. You're watching so that it's straight up and down. You're watching both sides of the knives and all that kind of stuff. Now you know why I said I don't want any talking. Your brain's a little busy at the moment, okay? I need everybody back at their cutting board. Stop, sorry, I'm gonna change that. This table is at your cutting board. I need you right here. I don't know your names, I'm sorry. I need you at that end of the table. You're right over there, and one of you is at each end. Come on down. Now you all know each other and hopefully you've bonded as a class by now. This is what, your 3rd week, something like that? So you are putting your fingers into their hands. They are your eyes, okay? You are going to start with a fresh zucchini. We're gonna throw all the zucchini away when we're done, all right? And there's one detail I forgot. Should I go get Band-Aids and all that kind of stuff now, you know? Usually I put those on the table. It's kind of intimidating when people see the Band-Aids. We can take all of our zucchini and just scrape it into the container here. I want everybody to start with a fresh zucchini. Okay, you have a second half of a zucchini on your back of your board.
What is the best way to scoop that? Should we use our knife?
Do not use the knife. It's a bad habit to get into using the knife. If you're using the knife to clean the board, number one, it's one more opportunity to cut yourself. But face reality, we have 6 people at the table that are all getting it into there. And if everybody does this, we now have 6 blades all heading towards that thing. It's just not a good idea. So your hand. And this, idea of scraping off, all that does is dull your knife. It's just not a smart thing to do. Okay, go ahead and get rid of that half. Start with the whole. Here, I will give you the whole one. Okay, knives in position. You can go ahead and scrape those 3 pieces off of there, that's fine. Knives in position. Michael, while you're picking that off of the blade, you were watching over here. Respect the tool for what it is. It's a knife. It's a blade there. If you're picking something off the blade of the knife, that's where your eyes gotta be, not over here, okay? Put your hands in position, your knife in position. Okay, you specifically are watching her. And if you want her to stop, you better tell her to stop, all right? Get into any position you need behind her so you can see what she's doing. You specifically have him. You specifically have her. You specifically have him, okay? Which means you 2 are on your own. So I'm gonna park myself right over here and I'm gonna watch both of you, okay? Eyes closed. Not the people that are watching, all right? Eyes closed, make sure you know where your fingers are, your index finger, your thumb, make sure you know where everything is. Make sure that knife is straight up and down. Go ahead and start slicing. Nice and thin is what we still want. Keep your eyes closed. If anybody at the table says stop, it means everybody stops. And you don't move. Nice and slow, nice and thin. Slow down, and you need to go a lot thinner. Open your eyes for just a second. Take a look at the cut that's on the edge of the knife here. Okay, it needs to be thinner. So you're just taking too big of a steps at a time. Okay, stop for a second. Right here. Stop. You can open your eyes, but don't move a muscle. Take a look at your middle finger. You just moved. Your middle finger was right up against that knife. Your index finger needs to be against the knife, not that middle finger, okay? And that middle finger happened to be sitting like this, which means you're gonna lose a fingertip, okay? I like all of my fingers, you like all of your fingers. Straight up and down and out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way just so we can see what we're doing here. Go. Nice and thin. Open your eyes for a second. Nice and thin. Slow. There you go. Don't leave that finger. You need to feel it against that finger all the time. It never leaves that finger. You're nervous too, but you're all right. I'm not going to let you cut yourself. Okay? All right? So now you've got it thin. Make sure you're against this finger all the time. Never leave that finger. Okay? And if you move that finger a lot, guess what? Your slices are thicker. If you move that finger a little, your slices are thinner. Stop. I'm not pointing to anybody. All I want you to do, keep your eyes closed and tell me, are all of your fingers safe? Your thumbs safe? Do you feel it on your knuckle? And are you successfully slicing thin? It's a mental thing. You need to assure me that you got that. Once you got that, you can start slicing again. Okay, go ahead. Okay, stop for a second, set your knife down. Don't be so nervous, I'm not gonna let you cut yourself. You're holding your knife back here, which means you're trying to, it's like choking up on a baseball bat, you're trying to put a lot of pressure way down here. So just simply slide up on the knife a little bit. Hold it more like this, okay? I've got a thumb on one side, this is wrapped around, and I have it tucked back to make sure that I'm nowhere near that blade, okay? But that way I've got most of my weight that I need can be in here, okay? Not that I'm putting weight on it, but I don't have, it's like choking up on a baseball bat. This means I have to work a lot harder. If I move up on it, I don't have to work so hard. Stop, don't open your eyes, just assure me that you're okay. Once you're okay, go ahead again. Okay, you're okay, good. Fingertips slightly bent back, make sure you're off to the side of the knuckle, not on the knuckle. Close your eyes. Nice and slow, nice and thin. Close your eyes. You notice how you weren't against your finger, all right? You have to be against your finger. There's no choice in that. You have to feel it there. Watch this guy. Stop, don't move a muscle. Barb, how do you feel about your fingertips?
Okay with my fingertips. I feel very short next to this table, like it's pressing in my arm.
Okay, go.
I don't feel as in control.
Okay, are your eyes open or closed? Okay. Stop. I'm going to move your knife. This finger, keep that out of the way and make sure you're feeling it here. All right, not down here, not here. Make sure you're feeling it here, okay? I need everybody to stop. Set your knife down. What's wrong with this picture? Blade facing away from you. Put it with the blade facing away from you. It's just a good habit to get into. We got, so many people walking around in class. I don't want anybody hurt. We're moving to the other table, and those of you that were slicing over there, you need a fresh zucchini. Can you grab one of those small containers, please? Do me a favor, I'm going to shift you over to that cutting board over there, okay? Did I just hear you say, I'm scared? But you haven't cut yourself so far, have you?
Correct.
Okay, well, so we're off to a good start. All right, clean zucchini, get your knife, or fresh zucchini, get your knife. Put your hand in position, put your knife in position. I didn't assign people, but you're right there, you're right there, you're right there, you're right there. Guess what? You're down here. Keep an eye on both of them. You're keeping an eye on both of them, okay? Slow and steady wins the race. This is not a speed race, okay? Make sure you got your fingers in the proper position. Eyes closed. No crying or anything like that, just eyes closed. And go for it. Nice and thin. It's the same goal. Be proud of the hand. Make it stand up. Make sure you're feeling that knife on the side of your knuckle. There you go. Stop. Don't open your eyes when I say stop. Go. Christina, how do you feel about your thumb?
Okay,
Your middle finger?
okay,
How about the tip of your index finger where the knife is? Do you feel safe with that?
yeah.
Good, you should. Good job, keep going. I hope you all have the right name tags on because that's what I'm using. Chris, you tend to leave your finger and come back. You want to keep on that finger all the time. All right? Looking good. Stop. Chris, I'm going to pick on you. Do you feel that your knife blade is straight up and down, or do you feel that that knife blade is aiming towards your hand a little bit? Straight up and down. Has to be straight up and down. How about you? If so, it's very little. You're actually doing pretty good. Ashley or Amanda? Which one was it? Amanda, how's your middle finger? And your knife position straight up and down? Okay, don't move a muscle. Open your eyes and take a look at your knife. All right, it was aiming in a little bit, straight up and down. If you aim anyway, I'd rather have it away from your hand a little bit, okay? Go. Open your eyes. Take a look at your resulting slices. Are they all about the same size? Okay, that's your goal. Well, okay, that's a side goal. Your main goal is that everybody still has 10 fingers when we're done, all right? I think you all have it pretty well. So I need everybody back to their board. There's a new one for each of you. If you need a new one, scrape off the goodies that are on your board so that you have there's a partial one at least. Okay, hands in position. Hands in position. Eyes closed. And before I have you start, there are 10 of you, and I only have 2 eyes. You mentally need to know where every finger, fingernail, knuckle, where every part is, all right? This is entirely on you. Entirely on you. If you do what I've shown you in the last hour, you got no problems. Eyes closed, slice it from one end to the other, nice and thin. If at any point you feel that you're in danger, say something to me. Michael, make sure you're feeling, don't open your eyes, make sure you're feeling it on the side of your knuckle, not your fingertip. Now, you know, I teach high school students during the day. And at high school, somebody walks in with a fingernail clipper, they get suspended for 2 weeks because it's considered a deadly weapon. And then they come here and we work with chef's knives and, you know, all these kind of things. So this is after a basic verbal safety lesson and threatening them. We come over here and they learn how to handle a knife safely. Now that you know how to handle a knife safely, everything you should do, you do it this way. Okay? Always working off that knuckle. Even when you're using the rocking motion, which we haven't gotten to, I just don't have the time. When you're using the rocking motion, it's still the same way. You're working off the side of the knuckle. Keep slicing. Michael, stop. Your blade is nowhere near that finger. It must be on that finger. We need to spend a little bit of time together, okay? We'll get you there. Stop. Don't move a muscle, don't open an eye. I just want you to verbally or physically think about all of your fingers and knuckles. Knife straight up and down. Make sure in your mind it's all right. As long as you can assure me of that, go ahead and go again.